everyone, this is Eugene Roddenberry.
Dr. Mohammed Noor.
Hi, this is Susan Sackett.
This is Fred Bronson.
Madam Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy's son.
This is Leonard Crowfoot.
This is Dr. Aaron McDonald, Star Trek Science Advisor and Lieutenant Commander McDonald on Star Trek Prodigy.
And you're listening to
Humanist Trek.
Humanist Trek.
You're listening to Humanist Trek,
the Humanist Trek Podcast.
And you're listening to
Humanist Trek,
a fabulous, fabulous show.
Enjoy.
And don't worry, you can do your Temporal Mechanics 101 homework later.
Well, finally they get a call from Earth, and O'Brien beams in Worf's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Tevye from Fiddler on the Roof. A fiddler on the roof. Sounds crazy, no? But here in our little village of Anatevka, you might say every one of us is a fiddler on the roof. Tradition! Tradition! No? Have you not seen Fiddler on the Roof?
No.
Perhaps I could use this as an excuse to go to those far-off planets with little polka-dotted people if necessary, and be able to talk about love, war, nature, God, sex, all those things that go to make up the excitement of the human condition.
This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Welcome aboard.
Jean-Luc Picard to the starship Enterprise.
You want to review your rapid progress?
That nonsense is centuries behind us. To the starship Enterprise.
Oh, yeah?
That is enough, damn it!
Tempo, mon capitan.
To the starship Enterprise.
But you can't deny that you're still a dangerous, savage child race.
Of the planet Earth.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
Nuchnech, and welcome to Humanist Trek. It's a comedy Star Trek podcast about the humanism in Star Trek. I'm Sarah Ray.
And I'm Allie Ash.
We're thinking about family a lot this week. This episode this week is all about family.
Yeah.
I will have just gotten back, future, this is podcast magic. I will have just gotten back from Illinois as this episode releases. My mother's 80th birthday.
Oh, wow.
We have been scheming for months
to do something.
The whole family showing up without her knowing we're coming.
Oh, man. She's going to know. Somebody's going to tell her.
I talked to her last night and she was like, oh, your sister's coming to visit and she's going to be here for like a week and it'll be good because we'll get a lot done like we always do. And my sister's son has been like calling all the time and talking to her like very, very, very often, calling and talking and talking about like, oh, we want to come visit. And so they're coming. So that all she knows is that my sister and her son and his girlfriend and dogs are coming. And that's it. That's all she knows about.
And sometimes that's the best way to fool someone is give them a little bit of truth.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then
exactly.
But don't tell them the whole thing. Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, it already happened. It was great. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
But she's talking about like, oh, we're going to get so much done. You know, me and your sister, because she's going through all of her stuff and like putting it in the rummage and getting rid of stuff. And she's just at the age where, you know, she's not enjoying it anymore. It's just in the way. And so she's trying to unload a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's helpful to have someone there to do it. But then she's going to think, oh, we're going to get all this on my list done. And then we all descend and throw everything out of
fuck her whole timeline up.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. That's what's going on with my family.
Great. Nothing going on with my family.
Nothing exciting.
No.
That's the only exciting thing. And I will tell you, you know, I don't go home often.
Mm-hmm.
It's like going to Iowa. I feel some type of way about the rural Midwest and how they see me as a person. And so I know like individually there are people who are safe to be around, but I don't know. It's just not, it's not my favorite environment. It's, you know.
I will say, so I grew up in rural Virginia and this episode, man, trigger warrant, lots of triggers. Because going back to the place that you came from, it's like taking a long look at who you were. And I know when I do go, I haven't been back to Virginia since like 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
And
it's been 10 years. Yeah.
It's the people there. They're different. You're different. And
yes.
It's just awkward and weird and sometimes emotional. And It's tough. And I felt all of this. I was Picard in this episode because you go back and there's people that like maybe resent you for having moved on sometimes or having those dreams beyond that area.
Yeah.
And then you go back and it's just weird because it's like they're stuck in time and they think you're the same person and you're not.
Yes. You've moved forward and they've stood still.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's
very true of my little small town as well.
It's very hard to have a conversation with people when it's,
Yeah. Fortunately, when I go home, I just kind of hang out at the house with the family. And like, it's not like I'm meeting up with people that I grew up with or anything. Like, I don't go to reunions for the same reason. Like, I got nothing to say.
Yeah. People want to figure out what I'm doing now. They can catch me on Facebook, whatever.
Yeah. Well, let's dig into the recovery episode after the Borgs. It's Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 4, Episode 2, Family.
Commander, you'll soon be getting an intruder alert.
What? I've got something, sir.
Intruder alert, sir.
It's an old-style starship, sir. Constellation class, heading this way under impulse com.
Number 1, kindly take charge of our guests until we have time to decide what we're going to do with them. Sir, number 1, keep them out of my way.
So this is what I like about the way that TNG did a sort of blended, serialized episodic television, right? Yeah. So this episode picks up where Best of Both Worlds dropped off, docked for repairs at McKinley Tire Thrusters and Transporters. So we're carrying on in a linear way where OG Trek was very like strict episodic. Like what happened in this episode and what happened in the next episode, they weren't checking each other's work for the most part, right? Where here it's like now we're building a little bit more of a storyline that crosses over more episodes, but it's not strict serialization like DS9 goes to, which I didn't like. So this is for me, this is what Trek should be.
Yeah.
And why I like Strange New Worlds the way I do, because it follows this same sort of structure. So it's carrying on in a linear way, but it doesn't have to be another big ass cliffhanger at the end of every episode. The stakes don't have to ratchet higher and higher. We're just moving on to the next thing. And that feels more natural and organic to me.
Yeah.
So Riker is managing the refit of the D, and Worf drops by the conference room to report they've already completed the phaser upgrades ahead of schedule and moved on to the power supply calibration. And Riker is super impressed with this, and Worf just like busts pride all over the room when Riker compliments him. He's so proud. Then there's the vacation roster, the visitors roster. Oh, speaking of that, Worf's parents are coming to visit, and Worf didn't know. Worf didn't know, and he's none too pleased about it.
And he says it's inappropriate for a Klingon to receive family members while they're on duty.
Yeah, this is a cultural thing for him.
But he's mad because, like, his parents or adopted parents are human and they just don't understand. Parents just don't understand.
Do you want kids all across the land? There's no need to argue. Parents just don't understand.
Man, I used to play that album a lot. Yes. Oh, man, I listened to that so much. Riker's like, look, man, this ain't none of my business, but we really don't get back to Earth very often. So, I can schedule you some extra off-duty time if you want. And Worf's like, no, hell no. So then Riker dismisses him, and then a little less formally he adds like, look, Worf, maybe you're worried about your parents learning about this discommodation thing, but Worf says he already sent them a VHS copy of that episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, so they know all about it. And again, he thinks, no human could possibly understand his dishonor. Troy has dropped by Picard's apartment where he's in his go explore the caves of Risa looking for the Toxu Tot outfit.
I was thinking the same episode because you know how Riker and Troy were like his children in his room while he's packing.
Yes.
What's he gonna do? And this time he's packing and she's standing and she's in his room asking him if he's okay, kind of. Just wondering, what he's planning on doing. And he's decided to go to France, La Barre, France, his home village. She's giving those patronizing
She's bruising him.
Yes, those patronizing therapist response is like, interesting. And he hates it when she does that.
What do you think of that? How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she does that whole thing. Just, it's really interesting that the man who previously couldn't be pried out of his seat for a vacation is now doing that. But, Picard is like, this is home. Do I need another reason? And she's like, well, what do you think? Oh, I want to choke her. I want to choke her.
I was very proud of him, though, that he's finally said, I really hate it when you do that.
Yeah, I do.
Good on him.
But she sees the value of him doing that just because, yes, his injuries are healing, at least the ones you can see, but it's those ones that are underneath that are not physical that he needs to heal.
Yeah, he goes through a pretty, I think, transparent effort at convincing her that he's all better now. He tells her the nightmares have ended and, he just needs some time to himself. And she agrees, but she still thinks that maybe going home might not be the best idea. And I'm not entirely sure I understand where that comes from.
And maybe she knows that was some history with I mean, she probably does know. Otherwise, she wouldn't be saying that because she has some insight into like his life. And maybe she knows that he doesn't have the greatest relationship with his brother. So he's not going to necessarily get support there.
But I feel like maybe that's something they should have said to us because I don't think the audience knows at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so she drops it and kisses him on the cheek and leaves. And then Picard considers taking some books, but puts them back on the shelf, snatches up his go bag and takes one last look around his quarters before leaving. I love this bag, by the way. The what's it called?
Knapsack.
It's a cylindrical shaped bag,
like
hard-shelled case.
It's kind of like a sea bag in a way, but hard shell. If you've never known anyone who was in the Navy, they have like a round sea bag, but it was huge. It's huge.
All I need now is a little time to myself.
I agree. In fact, I'm delighted you're going. It's just that the choice of where you're going could stand some scrutiny.
If you wish to believe my going home is a direct result of being held captive by the Borg, be my guest.
Is that what you believe?
I hate it when you do that.
Worf comes into the transporter room already annoyed because his parents are late. And bless sweet O'Brien, he's just trying to help. He's just, relating stories of his dad coming on board one time and
chasing women. Worf's like, that's not the same.
He's like, no, but parents, right? I mean, am I right? Parents, come on.
Am I right?
Worf's like, I wish they would just fucking come already so it could begin and end sooner. Well, finally, they get a call from Earth, and O'Brien beams in Worf's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Tevye from Fiddler on the Roof. A fiddler on the roof. Sounds crazy, no? But here in our little village of Anatevka, you might say every one of us is a fiddler on the roof. Tradition! Tradition! No? Have you not seen Fiddler on the Roof?
No.
Allie, you have to watch Fiddler on the Roof.
Okay.
It is a great musical.
I'll get right on that.
Such a good musical. I can't believe this. This is Sergei and Helena Roshenko, played by Theodore Bickel and Sweet Georgia Brown. Theodore is known for My Fair Lady, 1964, The Enemy Below, and The African Queen.
Oh, cool. The African Queen with Katharine Hepburn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Georgia was known primarily for this and a couple of episodes of Cheers, but she also voiced Mrs. Bird in the 1989 series Paddington Bear.
Oh, was she British?
Georgia was born in London's East End.
Okay.
The daughter of a Russian immigrant family who settled in Britain at the turn of the century.
Gotcha.
So she was evacuated during World War II to South Wales. And the other dude, what's his name? The other guy, Theodore Bickel. He's from Austria.
Okay.
Vienna, Austria.
So it sounds like Worf grew up in Russia.
Yeah.
They're beaming in from Earth Station Bobruisk. So that's kind of sounds Russian, but or they're from Ukraine or Russia, which is interesting.
Searching.
It does not show where he lived. He was born on Kronos, adopted by Sergei and Helena. Yeah, I don't know that it says exactly where they live. In 2347, the Rozhenko family was residing in the farming colony of Galt, where Worf and Nikolai grew up, and we meet Nikolai soon. And then they returned to Earth, but it doesn't say exactly where they lived. So yeah.
Cool. So they beam in, and of course, parents, when you haven't seen them in a long time, they do that shit. Oh, you've gained weight.
I'm sure that's highly offensive to a Klingon.
Yeah, well, yeah. So Sergei, of course, says, "You look good, but you put on a little weight." And of course, Worf's like, "No, no." But Sergei says it looks good on him. And Worf is like ready to get on with it. He's ready to take him to, but Sergei bypasses him and goes straight to O'Brien and introduces himself. And always good to meet another petty officer. And he likes to tell his credentials too. Apparently, he was formerly of the USS Intrepid. And of course, Miles humors him and calls him sir, but he doesn't want you to call him sir. He's like, "Oh, I'm a working man. I used to work for a living." So they just kind of chit chat about that, him being enlisted, and how can an enlisted man raise a boy like Worf to be an officer?
Ooh,
Yeah, he's so proud. He's super proud.
Yeah. Helena tries dragging Sergei away, but he's just like a little kid. He wants to see the whole ship, and he says, and this is a comedic runner, he says he's got all the specs and diagrams of the Galaxy-class ships at home. Probably some model kits, too.
Yeah.
Probably in bottles.
Ships and bottles. Because don't boys play with ships and bottles?
Apparently. Worf tries to manage expectations about ship tours, but his dad's like, "Oh, come on, I bet if you talk to the captain." And Helena is like, "I thought we agreed you weren't going to embarrass him. Shut up. And come on, we're here to see Worf, not the ship." Which is kind of a shitty thing to be like, "Oh, I can't wait to see. Hi, Worf, good to see you. Now let's get to the ship." Like, that's kind of a shitty way to be.
No, he's excited about everything, you know?
He is, yeah.
And
He's just excited.
Yeah, and he wants to see the ship because it's Worf's ship, you know? And then, of course, she's trying to calm him down, and she starts messing with Worf's hair. Your hair's getting long. You know, it's parents. You know, what are you going to do?
There is a very brief cut where Worf glances back at O'Brien, and he has this look on his face like, "Fucking shove a detect dagger in my back right now. Like, shove that fucker into my heart so hard.
And
I am so over these people."
O'Brien was smirking as they walk away.
So good. So good. Down on Earth, Picard is walking an old dirt road beneath a canopy of trees because I guess you have to beam a kilometer away and walk instead of beaming right into the living room or whatever.
I'm guessing on Earth you have to have a station, like a and if you're rural, and this is what I was thinking the same thing.
Right? How do we roll up to all these other planets and just be like, beam down wherever the hell you want? But here,
maybe there's a shield protection or something on Earth.
So
I don't
weird.
know. I don't know. Where you just can't beam in, because otherwise that would make Earth vulnerable for attack all the time if anybody could just beam anywhere. Anyway, I don't know.
Anyway.
But yeah, so he beamed in somewhere and then walked with his little knapsack over his, like, those
Yes.
stories where they put the stick in the
Uh-huh.
freaking, I don't know what that is called.
It's like a handkerchief.
Yeah, sticking
Like
a handkerchief
tied up in a bag, yeah.
with your shit in it. Yeah, so he's walking down the road and he keeps seeing the bushes moving.
I love this part. This is
This was so sweet.
I love this part, but I also think it's so out of character. He calls out, and a young boy pops out of the bushes, and Picard plays like the boy is a robber who attacks travelers, although there's not been any scene here in centuries. And the boy's like, "But I'm not a robber." And this is a fun little scene. Young Renee says, "I know who you are. You're my nephew Jean-Luc from the Enterprise." And Picard plays along and calls Renee his uncle. Just a fun little back and forth.
Yeah.
Renee is played by David Tristan Birkin, who comes back to play Jean-Luc Picard himself in a later episode.
Yep.
Put a pin in that. I had no idea this was the same kid.
Yep. He plays him
I love
in
that episode.
that episode when everybody gets turned into children and there's
Yes.
a little guy in and
Ro Laren. And
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, he was in the 1998 film adaptation of Les Mis
Oh wow.
and All the Queen's Men.
So many theater people. It's crazy. But I guess that's where people came from for acting.
Yeah, for sure. And he also played Mordred in the 2002 TV movie Young Arthur. I'm such a sucker for Arthurian stories. I
Me
love
too.
Arthurian legend. So
Did you
good.
watch Merlin at all? That series? The
Oh,
series
the
Merlin?
series, no.
Okay. I thought it was good.
Yeah. Things take a serious turn as Renee wants to know why Picard never comes to visit. And he explains that his job keeps him busy out on the far edges of Federation space. But Renee has heard his father talk shit about JL, saying that he just doesn't like it here. And this sets up the tension between Jean-Luc and his brother Robert.
Before he even gets there.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that they do this building before
you even
so
see
to
him.
let us
Yeah.
know that there's tension to be expected between them.
Yes. Yep. And this was a fun conversation too, when he starts talking about like, well, I've heard my dad say all kinds of shit about you. You don't seem like a arrow. What's the word? Arrogant.
Yeah. And what does that mean
what's that
anyway?
mean?
As arrogant son of a Picard's like, oh, let's talk about that later.
Yeah.
So they get to the house and Picard takes a long, long look at the house. They come into a courtyard and Renee calls for his mom and to announce Jean-Luc is here when she comes out. And I guess like this is his sister-in-law, but they've never actually met, I guess, apparently.
No.
So she says, it's finally good to meet you. I guess they've been corresponding, but they've never actually met.
Yeah, he hasn't met Marie or Renee before. And so that again lends to the like, why are you so friendly and like playful with this kid? Anyway, I'll get to that later.
I mean, he knows of it. He knows of him.
Knows of him,
like,
yeah.
but like through I think correspondence with Marie, his
Yeah.
sister-in-law.
Right. Marie is played by Samantha Egger. She made the rounds appearing on television and in her later years did quite a bit of voice work, including Hera in the Disney's 1997 film Hercules. Hercules. No? You got to watch more.
Was
shit.
it a cartoon or was it
Yeah,
a
it
live
was an
action?
animated feature.
I probably saw it. 1997, I probably saw it. Yeah.
Marie is pleased to finally meet Jean-Luc, and she asks how he's feeling after the whole, Borgification. She says that she and Robert are happy to have him stay there, but after that whole chat with Renee, Picard doesn't seem so sure and starts like talking about maybe I'll go stay in town instead, but she refuses. Come on, this is your home. You belong
Nah,
here.
I'll stay in a hotel. No, I don't want to be in any trouble. Yeah.
This is the moment, though. Picard takes a long look around, clearly playing old Super 8 film reels in his head of his childhood and shit, as he talks about how everything looks just exactly the way it was. Something Robert has been working very hard to preserve, as had their father before him. Apropos of nothing, Renee blurts out that he wants to be a starship captain someday, but it doesn't really seem to register, like nobody really responds to it. Only that Renee looks exactly like Robert did at his age, and all the memories are really having an effect on Jean-Luc.
And of course, she says, well, Robert can't wait to see you. And Picard knows that's a lie. But he's like, where is he? And she tells him he's with his vines, his wonderful grapevines, as usual.
So Jean-Luc goes off to the vineyard and finds Robert, played by Jeremy Kemp, who is another alum of the Royal Shakespeare Company, which produced Sir Patrick. And he is cold, distant, and more than a little annoyed.
Yeah, again, they do such a great job of building that tension between them. So he's knelt down, eating grapes on the vine, and Picard walks up behind him, and it's like he can sense he's there. And he says, so you've arrived. And he doesn't even look at him.
Mm-mm.
barely looks at him.
He's just like, well, you know where everything is, and we eat at 8. Now leave so I can get back to my work.
Yep.
You know, you don't seem so arrow, you know.
Arrogant?
Yes, arrogant. You don't seem that way to me. What does it mean anyway? Arrogant son of a...
Let's talk about that later, shall we?
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of Star Trek Adventures from Modiphius. Your mission: explore the universe, command your crew, and boldly go where no one has gone before. From official miniatures and dice sets to rulebooks, gaming tiles, and story guides, adventure is only a warp jump away. Visit humanistrek.com/Modiphius or click the link on our website and use code TREK for 10% off. Troy is apparently making the rounds. She went to see Picard. Now she's off in Casa Crusher chatting about vacation plans with her when a courier, I guess, arrives with a trunk labeled Lieutenant Commander Jack R. Crusher, USS Stargazer, NCC 2893. And as they go through the box of memories, Troy picks up a book, How to Advance Your Career Through Marriage, which is a hilarious bit. It was a joke from Jack. That was his way of proposing, which is fucking hilarious. I love it.
That's cute.
Right. What a sweet little idea. Then Bev finds an old USB drive that she'd forgotten all about, and it contains a message for Wes that his father recorded just after he was born. Jack had planned on making more of them, but then he died. This really reminds me. So when my son was little, I did this. I created an email account for him. And like occasionally I would send emails, just random letters that, shit that was happening in our lives and things that I was thinking about. And I didn't keep up very long on that either. Not because I died, but I kind of wish I had. And
life,
life gets,
now's
life
not a bad
happens,
time
dude.
to do it. You can still do it.
And I should have done that with my daughter too. Well, now they're at the age where I just tell them instead of,
Yeah, but they're not going to remember.
Yeah, that's true.
Crusher is concerned about giving this holographic thing to Wesley because, he just grown up so much and he's gotten over his father's death or him not being there. And he's come to terms with it.
That's what you think. Mm-hmm.
Right. And she feels like giving this to him is going to just bring up all those feelings again. But Troy's like, well, this is, this holographic whatever might have answers that you can't answer, things that you can't answer about his father. And of course, of course you're going to let your son see this. You're not going to keep it from him.
Down in engineering, Sergei and Helena are regaling Geordi with old stories from Worf's childhood.
Geordi's cracking the fuck up too.
He's loving this shit. Worf is like, well, that's enough of the commander's time for one day. And Geordi's like, no way, man. We're way ahead of schedule. Come on. I want to hear more stories. And they cut back to Worf. And Dorn plays the face so fucking well, especially with all that ham glued to it. The annoyance on his face. He is PISS. So they split up, Geordi taking Sergei to check out the new warp core. And he starts on about how he used to be a warp field specialist back in the day, while Worf and his mother go for a stroll in the Arboretum. Worf almost says, call me when you get tired of my dad's bullshit, but he stops himself.
Yeah. They leave, and then LaForge goes into some technobabble about the Theta Matrix compositor, and Sergei's like, yeah, amazing.
I have all the specs and diagrams at home, but that's not what I want to talk about.
Yeah, he looks to see if Worf is gone, and he's like, if you have a couple minutes, I want to ask you something, and it's about my son. And then they kind of cut to the next scene.
It's evening at Chateau Picard. Isn't that the name of their wine? Chateau Picard.
Chateau Picard. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they're settling in for an evening meal. At 8 o'clock is late to eat, y'all. I'm in bed by 8 o'clock.
It is. You should not lay down on a full stomach. You should eat at 6.
Anyway, they're settling in for the evening meal, and Marie mentions an old friend, Louis, who wants to meet with Jean-Luc. He's a supervisor with a team trying to raise the ocean floor, apparently, and create a subcontinent.
Yeah.
And of course, Jean-Luc sees this as an exciting adventure, exploring a strange new world right here at home. But his brother just doesn't see the point. Then Marie says the mayor wants to throw a parade and give Jean-Luc the keys to the city. And he's like, no, I'm not all about all that life. That's not why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And then Robert is like, yeah, he'll do it. You just need to coax him a little bit. He'll say yes. But JL says, no, I'm here to rest and visit you people.
But they move on to other subjects and they taste the wine, and Picard says, ooh, is this the 46, the Chateau Picard 46? And of course, Robert has to correct him or point out anything that he might be wrong about. And he says, no, this is 47. And he's like, you've been drinking that synthol too much to where you can't like recognize real wine. Apparently, synthol allows you to get when you drink synthol, it allows you to get the feel of alcohol, but you still have control. And of course, so Picard has a defense for that. You know, he says synthol heightens your appreciation for the genuine article. Compliments to the chef Marie, who's done a great job at the dinner. And of course, Picard sends another compliment Marie's way and says, you know, leave it to Robert to find the best cook in France. And of course, Robert takes that opportunity again to take a dig at anything to do with technology and anything to do with Picard. He says, yeah, but cooking is a lost art. That's your wretched technology again. So it's just constantly tug of war between the two of them.
This is very much like Robert is a conservative and Jean-Luc is a progressive, and he went home for Thanksgiving. Like that is what's happening right now.
And I felt all of this. This whole conversation is anything that Picard does is that newfangled technology, and everyone back home is stuck in a certain way, and they don't want to change, and they see you as like a foreigner almost. And and like I said, having a conversation and even wanting to share about your life is difficult because it's going to be met with resistance and
resistance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then again, apropos of nothing, Renee blurts out that he wrote a school report on starships and he won a ribbon for it.
Sweet.
And now here's that thread of jealousy between brothers that I didn't really remember. JL talks about writing a similar paper at a similar age. But when Renee asks if he won a ribbon, he's like, I'm not really sure. I don't remember. You know who does remember? Robert. And he goes off. I don't find your modesty very convincing, brother. Of course you won the ribbon. You fucking always won the ribbon. Marie suggests Renee go get his report and read it to JL. And as soon as he's away from the table, Robert goes off again. It's hard enough to protect him from all that's out there, your space communism and all of your newfangled technology, without you encouraging him. And JL's like, I'm not encouraging him. You're just fucking narrow-minded. And if you allowed that boy to see the world as it really is, Robert cuts him off. You raise your own sons as you wish and allow me to do the same with mine. Of course, we know JL doesn't have any kids. And isn't a little weird how genial JL is with Renee in general? He hasn't ever met the kid, famously does not like children, and yet he's immediately joking around with him, uncle, cousin, whatever bullshit, uncle, nephew. Like, very odd for Picard. And the only thing I can headcanon is that this may be a character change brought on by the Borgification experience.
The trauma. Yeah. And it could be he's not the same Picard that we knew.
Right.
And this Borg incident allows the writers to change him.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I think that's got to be what it is.
Yeah, which is cool. But God, this whole fucking conversation.
And of course, it's a fight at the dinner table. Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Sadly, cooking is becoming a lost art. That's your wretched technology again.
Robert and I have had more than a few discussions about getting a replicator in the house.
I remember the same discussions between mother and father.
Father understood better than anybody else the danger of losing those values which we hold most precious.
I don't see that you have to lose anything just by adding a convenience.
Well, you wouldn't. But in my view, life is already too convenient.
This is a very old argument.
The next day, JL meets up with his old pal Lewis in the vineyard, and initially they talk about the brotherly fiction, JL reaching for the future and Robert the past. Again, the progressive versus conservative. But soon this turns to Lewis's work on the Atlantis Project.
Which I think is funny to be named
That they called it the Atlantis Project, yeah. Lewis is played by Dennis Cregan, who appeared in 1987's Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, and The Thomas Crown Affair.
Oh, man.
His first credit was in 1982 on a TV movie, The Elephant Man. You remember that one?
Yes, the guy with the
Elephantitis or whatever it was called. Yeah.
They're reminiscing about the stuff that I guess they all grew up together. And he's so surprised that Louis has been even promoted to supervisor on the Atlantis Project because he couldn't even swim. He was a terrible swimmer when they were growing up. And now he's working on the ocean floor.
Apparently, Picard has been keeping up on this project, reading the scientific journals and whatnot. And then he asks, but how are you going to accelerate the buildup on the underside of the mantle without increasing the stress on the tectonic plates? And Lewis is like, damn, okay, you have been studying up on this. All right. So Picard continues talking about how, well, on Drama 4, we used the harmonic resonators on the D to relieve tectonic pressures. Like, it's not exactly the same, but maybe there's something there. Lewis is like, man, you should really apply for this job with me. In fact, they're looking for somebody to take the whole thing over. A real leader type, just like you.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you'd never leave Starfleet. Would he, though? Nah.
Picard says no. He's like, no, I wouldn't. But Louis is like, why don't I send over your resume? Just, just in case. But I'll tell you what, I'll send over some internal studies just in case you want some light reading at night. Because he's supposed to be on vacation. Nobody cares about that. Everybody's like, oh, John Luke, Captain.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's thinking about what he might have been through. But he's so yeah, we could use your thoughts on that. So I'll send some studies over. And he doesn't say no. He says, okay.
It's at least worth taking a look at. Like, he's not going to take the job necessarily, but maybe he can help him a little.
Yeah.
Up in 10 forward, Sergei and Helena are having drinks at the bar with their son, talking about how much the crew loves their boy. Worf's like, you all need to be a little more reserved. You're being a little extra right now. And
stop being so human.
Mm-hmm, yes.
This is basically what he's asking them. He doesn't like this praise. It's embarrassing. It's not Klingon. He hates it.
Yeah. They're just happy to be here and they're so proud of him. Like, isn't that what you want from your parents? Not a Klingon.
Saved by the Bell, Riker calls down to Worf and says he needs to talk to him about the phaser results. So off he goes, and he says that he tells his parents to tell Guinan if they need anything to call him.
I love this. They get up and walk over to the windows, kind of in frustration, talking about maybe we should just leave this whole thing alone. When right on cue, Guinan walks up and introduces herself, and she talks about how everybody comes in here at some point and looks out these windows, looking for that little star they call home. And she's like, holy shit, I'm so happy you guys are here because I need to know, why didn't you ever give that kid prune juice?
I laughed my ass off. And they're like, what?
He said he had never had it until he came here, and now it's basically all he drinks. They are shocked to hear this.
Because growing up, he didn't want human food. He wanted the Klingon classics, roqueg, blood pie, and stuff. And so Helena had gone through a lot of trouble to learn how to make that shit. And they did admit, he was a difficult teenager.
Yeah, this conversation about how difficult it is for humans to raise a Klingon kid, that's pretty legit. But they got through it.
Yeah.
And they don't think they did anything special. But Guinan points out, Worf's pretty special. You did raise a good kid, I'm telling you, Guinan and Worf bang. It's just casual,
No,
but I'm telling you,
I don't
that
think
door is
so.
always open. You don't think so?
No, not at all.
I
I do not think so.
We thought Guinan was banging somebody. Who was it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't
No.
remember.
No.
Anyway, Helena says she's afraid Worf thinks they don't understand him. And Guinan admits, yeah, part of him probably does think that, but she's seen another part of Worf. The part of Worf that comes in here and slams back a prune juice. The part of him that comes to look out these windows towards home and is not looking at the Klingon Empire. He's looking toward you.
Oh.
My God, Guinan is just the fucking best.
She's so much. I mean, I love Troy. I do. I love Troy, but she's so, as for insight into people.
Yep.
She knows what to say, when to say, and she doesn't say, well, what do you think?
Right.
No, she tells them what she thinks and gives them stuff to chew on.
Yeah.
Which is why she's a great therapist. But back at Chateau Picard is actually, so he's received the information from Luis, and he's kind of just he's at his desk, but he's kind of staring out the window. He's not really looking at it. And Marie comes in to ask him if he's okay. And he's a little bit disturbed because when he was talking with Luis the other day and they mentioned that they needed a director, even though he said he would never leave Starfleet, he finds himself thinking about it, and that is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving the Enterprise, leaving the Starfleet career.
Maybe it's because of his recent Borgification experience, maybe not. Either way, Marie thinks it'd be nice to have him around if he, took the directorship of the Aquarius project.
Aquarius. Aquarius.
Maybe the Picard brothers might even learn to tolerate each other. Yeah, good luck with that. Then the doorbell rings and Robert invites Louis in. Louis, who has not only come to chat with Picard about the project, but he's also mentioned Picard's interest to the Board of Governors, handed over his resume, and they're like ready to hire Picard right on the spot.
Jesus.
Oh,
tomorrow.
And furthermore, I set up a meeting tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow morning. No. Stop. Let this man rest. It's like, yeah.
So many parents could learn so much from the two of you.
Well, I'm afraid that Worf feels that we do not understand him.
Well, part of him may feel that way. But there's another part that I've seen. Part that comes in and drinks prune juice. Part that looks out the window towards home. He's not looking towards the Klingon Empire. He's looking towards you.
In Crusher's office, Dr. Crusher is talking to Wesley about this message from his father. And she's like, I don't really know what the message is. It was for you, and your dad made it a few weeks after you were born. And it was important for him to say certain things and make sure that he didn't forget to tell you later. And Wesley keeps asking, what does it say? And she doesn't know. But she gives it to him, and, your dad wanted you to have it.
Sergei and Helena drop by Worf's apartment to tuck him in, and Worf invites them in, and they all have a seat.
I find maybe the shot was on purpose. It probably was. But in Worf's cabin, he's looking in the mirror, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing God knows what. I have no idea. And then his parents come in, and they have the shot of him in the mirror with the two of them offset behind him in the mirror. I think that was probably on purpose. But symbolic,
Right. What does that say?
He's a Klingon, but he's backed up by these two human parents who could not be more different. When he's looking in the mirror, there they are. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. But
no,
I
like
just thought that was an interesting shot, and I know that they did that on purpose.
Well, they have a seat, and Worf admits that when he first heard they were coming, he wasn't really sure he wanted them to come. But now that they're here, he's glad.
Oh.
So finally, it all comes out. The Roshenkos talk about how worried they were about him after that whole discommendation thing. And even though they didn't fully understand it, They know Worf is an honorable man, and whatever he did, he must have had a good reason. And Worf thinks he must bear his dishonor alone, but his parents remind him that while this may be the human way, whenever you are suffering, you're never in it alone.
Oh.
They're proud of him. They love him, and that puts a neat little bow on the Worf family storyline here. I like it.
Oh, it's so sweet. And Worf kind of cracks a little bit. He actually reaches out for their hand and shows something close to human emotions. And I even think I saw a smile. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think
that
you did.
was super sweet. And yeah.
Unfortunately, the Picard family storyline is just boiling over.
Yeah.
Jean-Luc is slamming a bottle of the family grapes when Robert comes in, and he starts shit-talking Synthahol again. He's like, now there's something I'd like to see. The gallant captain of the Enterprise, totally shit-faced.
Yeah, he's on his way. But then he really starts poking. Like, what a dick. But then he really starts poking the bear because he's like, so, what'd they do to you? And I'm like, really? He wants to know.
Not because of any concern or care.
Yeah.
He just poking the bear. Yep.
What did the Borgs do to you? And Picard doesn't want to talk about it. He's like, you know what happened. He's like, no, not really. I guess you were probably hurt, humiliated. I always thought you needed a little humiliation. Or was it humility? Either would do. And then that's so cruel. As after what he'd been through, Picard just storms out of the house and starts walking down the road.
And Robert's close behind. And he keeps poking the bear as they walk out towards the vineyard. And here's where it comes out that Robert was proper jealous of his brother. President of the school, valedictorian, athletic hero with arms raised in victory. Hell, even this coming home and thinking about giving up Starfleet to splash around the oceans with Lewis doesn't seem like Jean-Luc, but maybe it's about the local boy who returns home to a hero's welcome, complete with parade and keys and all that bullshit. Like, god damn.
I know, but yeah, that's a lot to be holding in for years and years. But
years. Well, and it's been 20 years since JL has been home.
Yeah.
And all of this shit happened when they were kids, you know.
Yeah.
Robert says he watched as Jean-Luc received the cheers, watched him break every rule their father made and get away with it. All the while, he had to be the responsible older brother. JL says, you were a bully. And Robert's like, yeah, I was sometimes. And sometimes I even enjoyed it. So JL's like, well, fine then. Come at me, bro. Try it now. You, me, Star Trek fight in the vineyard.
Robert says, did you come back because you wanted me to look after you again because I was your big brother? And he fucking bitch slaps him. And this kicks off. That's when it kicks off the fight.
Everybody was Star Trek fighting. So they throw each other around the muddy puddles, completely destroying some vines in the process. And in the end, they're laughing their muddy faces
They're
off.
Fucking dirty as shit.
Yeah, like pigs in shit.
And of course, this is typical human male. Like, they start yelling, they resolve things. Only when they start throwing fists and throwing hands can they actually start talking about how they actually feel.
Yep.
They're laughing, but then it turns a little serious. And Picard says, you were asking for it. And Robert says, yeah, you needed it. You've been terribly hard on yourself. And this is when fucking Picard breaks. And I was literally almost breaking myself because this was some of the best acting, in my opinion, that Patrick Stewart did, because he was in tears. He broke down. He's like, you don't know what they did to me. They took everything I was. They made me kill people, and that kind of thing. And he blames himself that he wasn't strong enough to resist and that he wasn't good enough or something, and that he should have been able to stop them. And he just loses it and was crying.
Yeah. This is what Troy was talking about. You think you're better, but
you're not.
You're going to be, and Robert tells him, you're going to be dealing with this for a long time. This kind of trauma is not something that just gets healed real quick.
And he also says you're going to have to learn to live with it.
Now you just have to decide where you want to live with it.
Yeah.
Under the sea. Under the sea. With Lewis or above the clouds on the D.
Yeah. And they
Well, given the choice, I'm going to ride a D. I'm going to ride the D. I'm going to go to the D.
AD?
I'm going to.
And Picard's like, maybe you were right after all. Maybe I did come back so you could help me.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I still don't like you.
Yeah, they kind of stagger off, through the mud.
You were asking for it, you know.
Yes, but you needed it. You have been terribly hard on yourself.
You don't know, Robert. You don't know. They took everything I was. He used me to kill and to destroy, and I couldn't stop them. I should have been able to stop them. I tried. I tried so hard. But I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't good enough. I should have been able to stop them. I should.
So, my brother is a human being after all.
Some time has passed, and Robert and Jean-Luc have tracked mud all through the house, gotten shit-faced on wine, and are singing songs together when Marie comes in like, what the bloody fuck happened here?
This also reminded me of when I was married. I can't tell you how many times I've had to fucking clean up after my husband and his friends after they've done some stupid shit. And they've like tracked mud or something, but they're sitting their asses down. And I'm like, why are you sitting here with mud everywhere? And they're getting drunk. And I was Marie in this moment, and I'm like, this is so typical. And then I'm asking for an explanation. Oh, and they try to pass me some bullshit.
Yeah, they're like blubbering and tripping all over their words and shit. Yeah.
We fell down. We fell down.
Yeah, no, then I fell. He fell down.
And then I fell down.
And I fell down. We both fell down.
Yeah. And then
Christ.
she goes and inspect Robert's forehead, and he's bleeding, and she knows they've been fighting.
And of course, they both deny it.
Yeah, but she knows they're lying, and she's like, well, maybe it's good you got that out of your system.
Picard announces he'll be canceling the meeting with the Aquaman Project board because he's got to get back where he belongs, the Enterprise. But he adds, if I should ever doubt that again, I know where to come. Time to wrap up all the loose ends and say some goodbyes. First, Wesley enters the holodeck to find a man in a uniform that's somewhere between the TOS movie era monster maroon and the present day uniform, because there's no high collar undershirt underneath, and he's wearing a TNG era comm badge. So it's kind of a mashup of the old and the new.
It's got to be like less than 20 years ago that he died. So
Right. Wes runs the program, and Jack starts speaking, and this is just the sweetest message.
Yeah. It's what like a brand new father would say to his child. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yep. ain't no books that tell me what I'm just making shit up as I go. I'm trying to be the best dad I can be. And like, there's an interesting kind of Back to the Future moment to this. That's like, the neat thing about Back to the Future was always like, wouldn't it be cool to go back and see what your parents were like in high school?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is kind of Wesley being able to go back and see what his dad was like when he was too young to remember, too young to know who that person was. And we do change and grow throughout our lives. And so, yeah, the person I was when my kids were born, very different from the person I am today.
Yeah.
So he like apologizes for all the mistakes he's gonna make. Hope you don't grow up resenting the fact that I was gone so much. Of course, at the time, he didn't know he was gonna die real young.
Right.
So that cuts even deeper, I think. But then he starts talking about Starfleet and like, maybe one of these days you'll understand why this work is so meaningful to me and why I put so much of myself into it. And maybe you'll even, want to try on one of these uniforms one day. And then you cut back to Wesley as he looks down at himself in the uniform. It's really sweet, really nice.
Maybe you'll be a doctor, probably like your mother. And turns out, he does. Wes does love Starfleet and loves what he does. And it's really sweet. Goodbye to kind of like a closure for Wes. He says, I'll always be a part of you. I hope some of this made sense. And I'm not sure it does to me, but maybe I'll do better. And I love you. And that was it. And then the holograph ends and Wes just reaches out and he's gone. And he says, goodbye, Dad. It's like a hello, goodbye in one session, one scene.
But finally some closure for Wes that he didn't get to have, really.
Yeah.
Jack is played by Doug Wirt, who is a great choice in casting. I really believe these guys could be related. They could have been brothers or something.
Yeah, he looks familiar.
Well, he played Major Haddon in an episode of Stargate SG-1.
Ah, that's probably why I know him.
A handful of episodes on the soaps in the late 80s and early 90s. And he comes back to reprise this role a couple more times. So we'll see Jack again.
Nice.
Next, Jean-Luc is heading down the path from the house. Marie says goodbye first and invites him back. And JL tells Renee, take care, Uncle. And Renee returns the sentiment, adding that he'll be leaving for his own starship one of these days, too. And JL's like, come on, kid. There's a lot of time to make those decisions. Besides, you might choose to do something else entirely or burn in a house fire. Who knows, really?
Yeah.
Too soon?
Oh, man.
Robert hands off a bottle of the 47 and cautions JL not to drink it all at once. And if possible, try not to drink it alone. And they embrace it. It looks like Robert might actually break down crying here too.
Yeah, they both do.
This was very moving goodbye. Yeah.
Why does it take so much for dudes to just show how they feel?
And then JL walks down the path back towards the village because, again, apparently can't just beam out from the garden.
I don't know. There was a reason for it. Was the drama.
Yeah, it was.
Back on the D, Worf is saying goodbye to his parents, Helena and Sergei, and she's like, typical mom, you want me to send you something? And he says, maybe some of your roke egg blood pie. And since he's been away from home, she hasn't had to make it for anybody, but she's like, I think I can remember. As they are going into the transporter room, they run into Picard, and Picard's coming out, so he's made it back to the ship, and Worf is forced to introduce his parents. These are my parents, Helena and Sergei Rozhenko. And Picard is like super delighted to meet them.
He makes the mistake of saying, you had the full tour, I trust.
Oh no. Shit. Yeah. And Sergei's like, yeah, quite a ship.
Of course, there's a couple of areas I didn't make it to because of the repairs and such. And Helena's like, will you get in the transporter room? And he's like, I have all the specs and diagrams at home.
And the doors close on him mid-sentence, and Picard just grins and walks away.
Such a great bit of Star Trek comedy, that runner. I love it. Yeah, and Picard smiles, and the smile is, well, this is my circus, and these are my monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, this is where I belong.
Yeah. Oh, and this scene, oh my God.
Yeah.
The button on this episode is a late evening back at the Picard home where Robert and Marie sit at the table drinking some more wine, because that's all the French do. And Marie says...
on a vineyard, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Marie says he's still out there dreaming about starships and adventures. It's getting late. And surprisingly, Robert says, yeah, but let him dream, huh?
Yeah.
And we see young Renee sitting beneath a tree staring up at the stars.
Boy, I'm sure glad that's over with.
I'll be glad to be relieved of this cargo.
Me too.
It is done, and perhaps just as well.
Yeah, but I learned something today.
I sincerely hope that this is the last time that I find myself here.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? You see, of all the species, yours cannot abide stagnation. Change is at the heart of what you are. That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
Yeah, this was such a well done episode because
Yeah.
there was so much emotion and it was aptly named family.
Yes. Yeah, it's a great palate cleanser from the stress of Picard being Borgified
Mm-hmm.
and the high stakes. Here, see again, not every episode has to have universe-ending stakes.
And I can't watch it every week or like back to back to back if it's that high stakes. It's too
Yeah.
much for me.
Yeah, I agree. You have to take a breath, and this episode was all about taking that breath. But then, it can't just be about Picard and his recovery
Mm-mm.
and his going to his family to, to help him recover.
Yeah.
Then we have Worf and his parents and Wes and his father.
Other people needed closure too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And what does it say about family? I mean, first you have Picard and his blood family and the issues that they had. And I suppose it says that, even if, you're such different people, there are reconciliations that can be made.
Yeah.
Maybe that it's worth trying at least. And then you have Worf and his chosen family, right?
Mhm.
Not his blood relatives, the parents that adopted him. And I want more of, like, give me the sitcom of
Oh God.
Sergei and Helena raising teenage Worf. Like, give me that series. That would
No.
be fucking hilarious.
Oh my God. And it's so funny. Humans who are, supposed to be prided for their communication, Worf and his parents did better at communicating than Robert and Jean-Luc did. I don't know. It was Worf being such a warrior. Seeing him with his parents, it was just the sweetest thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah, he needed a reminder that, like, the Klingon way is great and all, but
Yeah.
don't forget that these are your parents. These are people who care about you, and they're always in your corner no matter, what happens. And they just want to be there for you. That's it. That's all they just, I want to be here to support you and however you need it.
Yeah.
But he had to kind of get over his Klingon bullshit. And then Wes, with the closure of the death of his father, that's so interesting. I think that could go in a million different ways for any other character. For somebody who's not Wesley Crusher,
Mm-hmm.
He could end up on a holodeck with, like, reliving in an unhealthy way. You know what I mean? Like, he could.
Yeah.
Now we have a holographic simulation of my dad. Now I can just plug into the computer all kinds of programs based off of that, and then lose myself in the holodeck.
Torture myself
Yeah.
with what if I could have saved him, or what really happened, or yeah.
Right. Yeah. He could easily get lost in that, but
But because Wesley is a well-rounded, mentally stable young man who had great family or great people around him to, like, show him the way, he was not going to do that.
Yep. Yeah, great episode. Love it.
Oh, so many.
No notes.
I mean, just
other than the Picard and kids thing.
Yeah.
I want to know more about that. Like,
No.
did the Borg rattle something loose when he gained his humanity back? Did that, change the way he perceives things?
When you almost lose your life, doesn't that make you rethink, like, everything? And
Yeah, Picard's had an NDE
yeah,
in a way.
or NBE, near Borg experience.
Your Borg experience.
And it's just like how, and everybody processes trauma differently, and like he had to get off of the Enterprise and even consider leaving Starfleet, and then being faced with, like, his brother and all his criticism and his jealousy, and all these people calling him a hero, before he just fucking lost it and actually finally processed it mentally.
Yeah. Yep. I suppose the one criticism I can come up with is it's a little, I don't know if Pollyanna is the right word. It's a little to think that like, oh, well, everybody went home. We have 3 examples of people going back to their family in some way. And at the end of the episode, it's all fucking sunshine and rainbows and everybody's in a better place and everybody's happier, when the reality is that is not how all families function.
No.
And did we need an example of, what are we trying to say about family in the episode? I guess it comes off, positive and sunshine and rainbows, but did there maybe need to be an example of
a negative one?
Something that just could not reconcile in some way or so? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if how that would have changed the episode for me, but I love it.
I love this episode. And it was a nice break, and it was a needed break.
We can handle all the pleasantries later. Now, let's get down to business.
I am willing to pay handsomely for you.
I think you've had a little too much to drink.
Now, what do you know about my money?
Your money?
The money he stole!
You stole his money?
Those vouchers I gave you were every bit as good as Latinum.
You can spend Latinum almost anywhere. Those vouchers are only good at your bar.
As always, we like to thank everyone who supports the show, and we want to give a special shout out to our founding admirals on the Patreon. A special thanks to Allie, Sarah D, Bruce, some call him Tim, and this week, Allie, we have a new founding admiral. Welcome aboard, the Matt Man.
The Matt Man. Nice to meet you, Matt Man. Matt Damon.
No. Matt was, Admiral Matt was one of the people we met at Trek Fest.
Nice. Amazing.
Yeah. And thanks everybody for supporting the show. Sharing us on social media and your financial support is what makes this thing keep going. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt.
Captain, Starfleet Academy is requesting an update on our estimated arrival.
Finalists, please take your seats.
I must admit you have a very fast mind.
Once I realized it was a trick question, there was only one answer.
Although only one student will be chosen for the Academy, any of you could easily qualify. Candidates, good luck.
You got called to the superintendent's office. It's a story I'd like to hear.
All right, Becca's back now with the answer to this week's Starfleet Academy Cadet Challenge question for family. Remind everyone again the question.
Guinan appeared in this episode, but what made this particular appearance different than others?
She didn't what did we say?
You guessed it was reused or stock footage.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't that. She was chatting with Worf's parents.
Yep.
We also have some guesses from the internet this week.
Okay, cool.
So let's hear from some of the fans. Paul J. Robinson says, this week's Starfleet Academy Challenge has me puzzled.
You and me both?
Well, just because we couldn't even remember the question, let alone. I can't think why or what Whoopi Goldberg would have done differently in this episode. Maybe she has to record her scenes remotely or separately from the cast owing to scheduling conflicts, and that they had to split screen her into the edit. Dirk says, I was wondering if it's her only scene with a non-regular cast member talking with Worf's parents, but she has other ones, like one with Data's daughter. It'll probably be the only time she wore a green dress or something like that.
Yeah.
You got Becca pegged, that's for sure. You got her fucking number. And then Third Eyelid says, I vaguely remember something about how she talked to Worf's parents was different, but no specific guess.
Okay.
So what's the right answer?
As she previously appeared in The Best of Both Worlds and The Best of Both Worlds Part 2, this marked the only time that Whoopi Goldberg guest starred in 3 consecutive episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Admiral is definitely incorrect.
Hat trick. Nice. Yeah. Next time, we'll be reviewing Star Trek The Next Generation Season 4, Episode 3, Brothers. Maybe the family theme going on here. After being summoned home by his elderly creator, Data clashes with his evil brother, Lore. Oh, I love these episodes.
Oh, I hate the lore episodes.
I love them.
But we get to see the brilliance of Brent Spiner.
Yeah, he's like 3 characters in this episode.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because he plays, what's his name? His dad.
Soong. Yeah, Dr. Soong.
He plays his own father.
All I remember is that, like, like a sleeper agent, Data goes fucking rogue and starts locking out the computer and shit and flying himself back home. And then he gets home and is this where we find the emotions chip for the first time? I don't remember. Okay, what's our question then for brothers?
The Pakled costume worn by Brent Spiner in Lore in this episode was auctioned off in an online auction in 2007. Can you guess how much it went for?
Okay, so this was a Pakled costume that was reused?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. You could have asked what costume was reused, and I wouldn't have known.
And we're not doing prices right. We're doing whoever's closest.
Okay.
Up or down.
Okay.
10,000. I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm going to shoot high. I'm going to say 250,000.
And in the
2007?
Oh, well.
I mean, you do you.
Whatever. Let's give Allie the win.
Wow.
Let's give Allie the win.
Rude.
Ooh.
Damn, are you?
She needs points, okay?
Right.
You could have just kept your mouth
You
shut
don't have to
and not
say
made
it.
me feel bad about way overshooting.
Well, I was gonna say 250. No, not back then. 10. I would just say 10.
And if you want $10,000, you can head out to your social media and share this episode with the hashtag Starfleet Challenge, and we'll pick out a winner. And next time,
I don't believe anybody said anybody is winning $10,000.
No,
Be clear.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't
If
think
you want
should say that.
$10,000, that's great. We can't do anything for you, but you go. You can still go guess.
hey, if you have $10,000, patreon.com/humanistrek.
Yeah, thank you.
And next time we'll talk about Star Trek The Next Generation Season 4, Episode 3, Brothers.
Do you seek Jabberwocky?
Resistance is futile.
Humanist Trek is available wherever you replicate your podcasts. Follow us on all the social medias at Humanist Trek. Become a patron at patreon.com/humanisttrek. Open hailing frequencies to podcast@humanisttrek.com and visit our website, humanisttrek.com. Humanist Trek is a production of Sarah Austin Media.